Jeremy's channel. We talk about, we react, we do reviews, we do other videos on. Please subscribe and tap in and let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what's going on, what's big, what's bigger, what's going on in this time, and if you do enjoy, please stick around and let's continue our conversation. Okay, take care. Bye. Hi, welcome to Ocean Yumi's channel. So, alright, for the part from, was it last week, this week? There's been a lot of incidences going on around London. Like I think it's the last 2 days, I think. Let me see when the other incident happened. I think that one was last week. Well, there's been a couple of stuff that's keeping occurring. One being that how there's been stabbings around London. Well, in Walworth Road and I think one in Clapham. Now, I know it's been publicised on the news. This one seems very strange to me because it was a whole older man who seemed to have unalived somebody in East Street. And East Street is one of those places very frequented. It has a lot of people there. There's a lot going on. Clapham, I would say, is about the same. Very busy street and everything else. So I'm just thinking, what is going on, basically? Oh, people's lost their heads. I'm going to play the one from the market. And in the picture, as you see on the community, you'll see how it looks like an older man that's done this. Let me see who's the same one, because it seems like there's been quite a few of them. No, it was a market vendor that got. It's a market vendor. Wow. It's getting very, very testy. These are the times, I'll tell you. Hold on, I'm trying to line up the picture. So it said that it was done by a 60-year-old man. The thing is that how they're putting everybody in the same basket for whatever the reason is. Saying it's down like to Muslim thing. It's crazy. It's a crazy world, man. It's a crazy world. So a market vendor got killed. So it says 3 people now got stabbed. That's the one today. Oh wow, 3 people got passed away.
Man killed after 3 people stabbed at East Street Market in South London. A man believed to be in his 60s has been arrested and is in custody. A man has died after 3 people were stabbed at a London market, with traders reportedly tackling and holding the knifemen until police arrived. The incident happened on Sunday morning at East Street Market,
Oh, it was on Remembrance Day,
in the south of the capital. The Metropolitan Police said the man died at the scene and the two injured people, a man and a woman, were taken to hospital. Image. Pic. UNEP. Image. Pic. PA. Officers said they were waiting for an update on their condition. A man, believed to be in his 60s, was arrested at the scene and then taken into custody. It is understood the incident was mental health related. Police confirmed it was not being treated as terrorism and they were not looking for anyone else. A shop worker said the knifeman was tackled by market traders who put him down and held him until police arrived. They just put him down, and they waited.
But on certain people is trying to link it to Islamists and all this stuff. I mean, how you when they're saying it's mental health, how you take it from there to there? It doesn't. London's getting crazy though. I ain't gonna lie. The other day, a young man got unalived, teenager. Right, this is getting to be like it's been happening for a very long time because others have spoken about this. Even Ringo Vision covered it on his channel, where he was at somewhere and they were talking about what happened to their son and all that. Even though this is not a younger person, but it's like ongoing. It's very ongoing. Yeah, it's from one thing to the other.
For the police, Wasim Hussein said. It was the general public, they work in the market, most of them. Image. Pic. UNEP. Commander Peter Stevens said, tragically, a man lost his life this morning, and officers are working hard to establish exactly what happened and to provide support to his family. My thoughts and sincere sympathies are with them, and with the other people injured. Read more from.
It said that it said they're saying on X that how it was a Muslim person that did it, and the other side saying that how it is mental health. There was another one that happened as well. Let me see if it will come up. I think it was quite recent. They've got the East London one there. It was a shooting in Sydenham. How long ago was this one though? It was the 10th of November.
Sky News. Irish Met.
Man shot dead and 2 injured in southeast London. Police were called to a shooting near Wells Park Road. A man has been killed and 2 people have been injured in a shooting in southeast London. The Metropolitan Police said officers were called to reports of a shooting near Wells Park Road, Sydenham, just after 10 GMT on Sunday. They found a man with injuries who died at the scene. A woman who was discovered with gunshot injuries to her legs was taken to hospital. Her condition is not described as life-threatening. A third person attended hospital with what were believed to be gunshot injuries. The force added, although their condition was unknown. Police are trying to establish the identity of the victim and tell his family. Neighbors have said that near the scene of the shooting there was a very busy party, which carried on until the morning. Sabrina Charles, who lives nearby, said she was woken in the early hours of Sunday by noise coming from flats in Hensford Gardens. I didn't hear the music until after 11 p.m., and it went on until around 5 am, she said, adding that the gathering was still going on at 7 when she walked her dog. Another resident living within the cordon, who wished to remain anonymous, said they heard screaming and shouting at about 10 o'clock, before getting on a bus. Determined to safeguard the community. No arrests have been made and police are trying to establish the victim's identity and contact his family.
I don't even know who he
Commander
is.
Peter Stevens said, "I know people will be shocked by this senseless act of violence, all the more so on a Sunday morning in a residential area. I share their concerns and can assure the local community that the Met's response, alongside our partners, has been rapid. We are determined to safeguard the community, to get to the bottom of what happened here and bring those responsible to justice." He added that there would be additional officers patrolling the area as well as forensic experts at the scene. The eastern end of Wells Park Road and a block of flats in Hensford Gardens are taped off, with the cordons likely remain in place for some time. Listen to the best of BBC Radio London on Sounds and follow BBC London on Facebook. External. External.
Man, it's strange. 'Cause when I heard about the East Street one, at first I didn't believe it because like East Street, them sides are always busy. They're always people going up and down, up and down, up and down. You know, it's getting very regular. It's getting even more regular than it was before. Before there was a whole lot of teenagers that was getting unalived in London. The numbers was even going up. You know, it just like it's mad times, you know. And there was lots of celebrations around this time, particularly because one was Remembrance Day, and then the day before was something going on down like to the Black veterans, and now it's like you're enjoying yourself, and then like you hear all this. You know, I wonder what happened. Why that guy chose to do what he did. I mean, they're saying it's mental health. But I wonder what happened because they're saying that they said it was one of the vendors and all that. There was another one with a young man that also passed away. See, this is the things that I talk that I want someone to talk about our sons and fathers, and you have to make sure you have to put out positive stuff for your children to come back in one piece, or husband, man, sons, uncles, whatever. Because you never know what can happen. You can be somewhere, minding your own business, and you get caught up in the crossfire. And if it is mental health that made this man do what he did in E Street, if more stuff has come out, because what they tend to do, they tend to leave for a bit, look into it, investigate it, and then later on, right, you hear something about it later on. So that also brings me also to Jordan Knightley situation too, because let me take this one. Oh man, that's doing too much. This thing is weird. Hold on, let me get the screen. The screen's playing up. It always gives me beans. There we go. Yeah, so it also brings me to Jordan Knightley. As you know, Jordan Knightley got unalived in the train station in... Let me see if I could bring it up. Jordan Neely. Said his name wrong. Jordan Neely. He was unalived on May the 1st, 2023, and he was 30-year-old homeless black man that died at 24, right? And he was a marine truck holding, because I really wanted to update that one as well. Let me see. We got that update. There was an update just the other day because they said that he got off or something. Let me see. They said he got off. Oh, this was last month. Oh, this is last week. Hold on, where am I looking? Where's this one dated? Okay, last week I think they updated it. So Jordan Neely is a Michael. Jordan Neely is a Michael Jacksonist impressionist who used to be around the New York subway, and he used to be dancing, and he also had a mental health problem, and he was taken down in a subway inside of the actual carriage where he was unalived. Okay, so the Marine guy. It doesn't matter when you talk about the time or not the time or whatever, it's always relevant because this guy died for no reason. And I really truly believe that. And if this man really gets off, I'll be very surprised.
The case against Daniel Penny, the 26-year-old on Friday. On this first day of testimony, we heard from 5 witnesses, including the 3 police officers who first arrived on the scene after receiving the call. We also watched video from their body-worn cameras, which showed them trying to assist Neely, who was lying motionless on the floor.
You say you put him out? Oh.
Did you put him out? What?
Just compare. Here you go. What? You got close. You got close. You breathing?
Whoa.
We also see by a police officer tells, quote, threatening people and crazy.
Anything on that? What's that?
No, I ain't gonna show all this because I'm really like what you call it? I'm not with it at all. I'm not with this. I'm not liking how they're still saying that how he was threatening and he still was doing this. Like that. And the Marine had a off day or whatever was wrong with him. He decided to take you on himself to go and take someone out. So no one gave you that thing to go and do that, right? So I'm gonna stop sharing this. Hold up, let me stop sharing this because they're just I just wanted the update of the thing. I don't want to go through all this palaver. What did he get? What did he get? Did he go back? I think before. think this is the update. Because we don't want to hear all that. Okay? We know why you did it. You was peed off. Man probably was in everybody's face, getting on people's nerves, and do what you had to do. To me, but that's me anyway. Yeah. So I think this is the recent one. Let me see if it's the recent one, because we don't want to hear all that.
Support The Guardian. Daniel Penny arrives at court in New York on October 23, 2024. Photograph, David D. Delgado/Reuters. Trial in subway killing of Jordan Neely to begin in New York. Daniel Penny, 24, a former U.S. Marine, had held the Michael Jackson impersonator in a chokehold over perceived threat. New York City Central Criminal Courthouse braced this week for the start of a trial that will shed light on and perhaps assign accountability for the death of a 30-year-old unhoused black man. Was Daniel Penny, the 24-year-old former U.S. Marine accused of causing the death of Jordan Neely, an unhoused former Michael Jackson impersonator, acting recklessly when he placed Neely in a chokehold allegedly for more than 6 minutes on the subway last May? Along the way, the case will also be a referendum on the safety of the city's transit system, the effectiveness of its mental health services, and where limits on citizen interventions in situations where they may perceive themselves or others to be under physical threat may lie. Last week, as more than 100 potential jurors were being screened ahead of opening arguments, Judge Maxwell Wiley granted a request by prosecutors to conceal the identity of the jury, acknowledging that threats had been made to all parties in the case. "I believe that's wise," Wiley said. "There's not just opinions, but very, very strong opinions. There's been people who have not been afraid to make threats. Jordan Neely goes to see the Michael Jackson movie This Is It in New York in 2009. Photograph, Andrew Savulich/New York Daily News via Getty Images. Wiley asked potential jurors if they had heard of the case. Nearly everyone raised their hand. "Not a surprise," the judge remarked. Penny, who has pleaded not guilty to second-degree manslaughter and negligent homicide, told investigators that Neely, who suffered from schizophrenia, threatened to kill other passengers and was trying to hold Neely down until help arrived. The chokehold lasted at least 5 minutes. Neely's death sparked immediate protests. On the subway platform at Broadway Lafayette, where EMTs had attempted to revive Neely, a support column had been daubed with "Who Killed Jordan Neely?" Tension soon turned into hostility toward New York's policy for the unhoused and Transit Authority police. "This was a horrible lynching, the murder of someone needing help," student Jafar Rahman told The Guardian last year. "He was at a point of desperation and a citizen, acting in racial bias, acted to suppress that." Penny told police that Neely was ranting in an insanely threatening way, shouting "I'm gonna kill you" and saying he was ready to die or go to jail for life before he placed him in the chokehold. Witnesses on the subway car have offered differing accounts of what took place. One said Neely had been acting aggressively and frightening people but hadn't attacked anyone. Other witnesses claim Neely was not threatening. Former Marine indicted over chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Read more. Jordan Neely did not attempt to physically injure anybody on that train, so the question is whether a majority of white people on a jury are going to let another white guy kill a black man in the middle of Manhattan because the man is scary, says veteran New York criminal defense attorney Ron Kuby. Historically, the answer to that has been, sure, he adds. So we'll see whether things have changed. Penny was not charged for nearly 2 weeks, sparking further protests across the city. He faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted of the manslaughter charge. "I'm not trying to kill the guy," Penny told investigators, according to court papers, and said he was not a confrontational guy. Outside Manhattan Criminal Court, Penny was greeted with shouts of "murderer" by social justice protesters. Some held signs that read "Justice for Jordan Neely," "End Racist Vigilantism Now." Neely's family and supporters have said he was simply crying out for help. They say his mental health had deteriorated after his mother's body was found stuffed in a suitcase in the Bronx. Neely's aunt, Carolyn Neely, later said her nephew became a complete mess, noting he was schizophrenic and suffered from both PTSD and depression. The whole system just failed him. He fell through the cracks of the system, she told the New York Post. City authorities had placed Neely, who was on the psychosis-inducing synthetic marijuana K2, according to an autopsy report, was on a list informally known as the top 50 of people known for the severity of their mental health troubles and resistance to accepting help. Jordan Neely's life mattered, New York Mayor Eric Adams said before Penny was charged. He was suffering from severe mental illness. That was not the cause of his death. His death is a tragedy that never should have happened. Other New York political figures, among them Progressive Council member Chi Ossie, have pointed to a failure of mental health services and disparities in the way that Penny was arrested and released, and the way a black man might have been treated if the situation was reversed. Penny's defense fund has raised more than $3 million via a pledge drive that describes the criminal charges as stemming from him protecting individuals on a NYC subway train. Tensions around the case seep deep into issues confronting New Yorkers that have played into difficulties even selecting a jury to hear the case and what may be admitted into evidence. Last week, prosecutors reportedly asked the judge in the case to bar witnesses from calling Penny a hero or Good Samaritan. According to an email exchange between lawyers obtained by Gothamist, Assistant District Attorney Daphna Yoren said the use of those terms was subjective and the equivalent of a determination that the defendant was justified. But defense lawyer Thomas Kenneth countered that witnesses used those words soon after the incident. It describes what they perceived, Neely acting as the aggressor, and Mr. Penny acting to defend and protect, he wrote. The trial is expected to last 6 weeks. This is the moment for truth. Convicted felon Donald Trump will serve a second term as President of the United States. Just as we did in 2016, we will hold the coming administration to account and rigorously challenge what.
That's got nothing to do with the headline here. How we get from there to over this? Did I tell you to go all the way over this? I didn't tell you. Right, Jordan Neely, right, and I have covered this before. If you go back when you put into the search bar Jordan Neely, you will hear his story. There's a lot more to this than what it is, because when I looked into it, New York had a really bad thing with homelessness over there, where they would when they're rowdy, they come pick them up and all that sorts of stuff. Now, I have literally done builds on Jordan Neely and how they all occur. And yes, there was a reaction about it because of how it was done. Not only that, there is video footage of him going through. I think he was asking for food. Yeah, so well, they said this is going to be going on for they said 6 weeks, something like that. So we'll see how this goes, because they're deeming him as a hero, and if it was a reverse, yes, it will be something very crazy. I mean, we've seen what happened to Masilis already. On death row. So I just thought I'd just update my information on Jordan Neely and the case of the chokehold that happened. So I'm not gonna say nothing else till later, till I see other stuff come out about it. And I'm waiting for Bianca Ellis as well. But her stuff, they did do a little pre-trial on her. I think there's supposed to be another trial or something come out where she is concerned, but because she has mental health as well. Well, her one is very deep as well. So they're saying that Harriet, she might not be able to stand for trial or whatever. But I feel like I need to go over and check again to see whether it is so. If it's not, it's not, because they didn't check her over before and they let her out. She didn't get that observation, that she didn't get sedate. Was it that when they check them out, make sure that how right they are good to go into public and all that stuff, because they can be an danger to people. And there was a lot of problems with the judge as well. Let them off. She came out due to people not doing their jobs as well. In that I can't remember what state it was now. But there is a lot going on. There's a lot. I don't even know. Half the time it's difficult to cover it, because it's either on a holiday when my young one's on holiday, and it's very difficult. So to find that little space time to cover everything, and so because I've been following this story as well, the Jordan Neely story. I thought I'll update it as well, because it's like that. And I think it's about the same thing over here with the mental health thing, because there have been a couple of things, like even that one that I just spoke about with the mental health thing, where it gets misread as being aggressive, right? So I'm going to be waiting for more of the Jordan Neely stuff as well to come up. And if I see anything, I'm going to definitely come back and talk about it. But also the reason why I started the live was also to talk about the incidences, because it's not one incident, it's not two incidents. It's like on the same day, on the same about time when it happened, which was last Saturday and Sunday, or last Sunday, Saturday. So they're trying to link it to Islamists. Well, I think they link to Islamists. Even if it's not got nothing to do with them, they link it to them. And hence why there was a riot recently, because of misinformation. Because what happens if there's a lot of misinformation, then it gets all mixed up in Chinese whispers and all these different things. So then it's like, right, you have to find a reasonable source that how like you can say, okay, that is what it is. So with all that said, I'm going to end this right there. I ain't going to make it long, because there's not a lot to say really, because at the end of the day, every single day there's been a couple incidences over here. Last month before, can't remember. There's been so many. I can't even keep up half the time. And at one point, like I said, there was a whole load of teenagers getting on a live around the Capitol. Some is down to police brutality. There's also other stuff going on. So I don't just do across the pond. I do here as well, because I feel that how some of the stories need to be told. Some of the stories need to be spoken about. Plus, like, there's always underline of things getting, like you said, misinformation, like the Lucy Lettsby. Need I say more? That even one of the subs or channel holders, when she gave the information, it was on point. And then, funny enough, right, they used it in an article talking about, oh, there was more children. But it wasn't Lucy Lettsby. No, it wasn't Lucy Lettsby. Could have been somebody else. Okay. So I would try to come in as much as I can. I'm hoping to get a new device soon, so I can do it in not one place because it's easier for me to be in different places while I do my lives, and I can just say what I have to say, and put it in so that everybody can see. Because I believe that we all need to talk about certain stuff, and here this is what I talk about, because there's always a reason for everything. There's always a reason for everything. Mental health is the biggest problem in the wider community as well as the Black community. And if people ain't prepared to take that on board, they need to, because it is very much a big thing. It's a big thing. Some people do not get seen until it gets very, very severe. So also to do with the needy thing as well, like I'm glad that they're putting in something so that people can know when, well, not unalive a person, but when to step in, when to diffuse it. But then I will say to them, don't be a hero neither, because you might end up being unalive yourself. So you have to be very careful. You have to assess the situation and think, okay, how can I diffuse it? Because people are quick to take out their phones and record everything, even though that is good for some things. But you have to be on your laurels. You got to be very aware of the surroundings, environment, everything else. So, I don't know how it's going to go with the Trump thing. I know a lot of people's on that. I said I ain't going to touch it, but I'm just going to say, the text is disturbing. Do anybody know where the texts come from? Do they know the sources where these texts has come from? The other day I see them doing a whipping class. What's all that about? Them people saying stuff on social media from the Americas. So I don't know. People say it's a good thing that he's elected. Like I said, I have my opinion on that guy already. So I see where it's going. I'm hoping there's not going to be stuff happening in the Americas, bloodbaths, etc., etc. Because people will take it on themselves, being who they are, and they will go and they will do craziness under the banner of that. So I would definitely say to people, please take care of yourself when you're out and about. Don't fall on your laurels. Be aware of your surroundings. So that's all I want to say. And I'm just going to leave it right here. I'm not even going to go into 1 hour mark. I'm just going to leave it right there because otherwise I'll start going on again. And then it just defeats the whole objective of me starting this live in the first place, and it goes into something else. So with that said, I'm definitely going to come off and